What's up YouTube? Murph here, doing a little something different today. I'm actually doing something I've wanted to do for a long time, and that is making a chest freezer into a bait tank. Now, I have another bait tank and it works pretty well. Don't have too many issues with it, but the issue you have with a lot of different minnows, especially here in Minnesota in the Midwest, like chubs, suckers, rainbows, shiners, stuff like that, is the minnows need to be kept pretty cold. At least if you want to keep them for longer periods of time, keep them cold. That kind of lowers their metabolism. They don't crap as much, and it's just overall better for keeping your own bait. So I went out, got this one on Facebook Marketplace. It's $100. It's 5 cubic feet. You can find these Craigslist, Facebook. You can usually find pretty good deals. They're on there quite a bit. So $100. You can find them less than that, but this one was 100. I'm happy with that, and I'm excited to make it. So that's definitely the most expensive part. The rest of the materials are definitely less than $100 more. So overall, I think it's gonna be about 150 to 175 bucks to make this, which isn't bad, especially for how much I have fish and how much bait I use. It's a good investment for me. It will last for years. But let's get right into it. I'm just gonna go through it as I'm making it. Alright, first of all, I'm gonna take this just kitchen and bath silicone and seal up the seams in here. I'm going to do the top around the edge, which you probably don't have to do, but definitely have to do these edge ones down the side there, and then down around the drain. So I put masking tape in to kind of keep the silicone from getting in the way, because I'm going to put a bead along there. Then once I got that bead along there, I'm going to just take my finger and kind of smear it down, and it's going to kind of get everywhere, so the masking tape is going to help with that. You don't need to do that, but that's just what I'm going to do. So the next thing is to just get the lid off, because I'm going to put a different lid on, or I'm going to make a wooden one. So it's just popping these off and then taking these screws out, and then I'm going to put the screws back in the lid just so they don't get lost. Because if I do ever want to make it back into the cooler, I will be able to, or freezer, I will be able to. And I just don't want to be cutting into this. You can do that, but you gotta be careful of the coils around the side, and for me it's just gonna be easier to just take the lid off and store it somewhere, and if I ever need it someday, I can put it back on. Okay, lid's all off. So I'm gonna connect, it's gonna be a plywood lid over this with insulation on the bottom, and it's gonna be connected to this still, because this lid system with the spring in here works really well. It holds the lid down when it's shut, and when I start lifting it up, it pulls it all the way open and holds it open. So I want to keep that. Now there's going to be a section right here that's not connected to the lid, and that's going to be where the piping goes through for the filters. And this section of plywood is going to go out a little bit further here and basically be a table. Now there's going to be legs on it that go down, and that's where the bucket filter is going to sit, and then I can set some other things on there. So right now it's looking pretty good. I'm going to start peeling off that tape. Okay, so masking tape all out, silicone's in there, it looks pretty good. I don't know how well that shows up, but that should create a pretty good seal now. As you can see, there's kind of this raised area, which is good. I like that. I'm going to put a plexi divider, just this piece of plexiglass. First I got to get it cut to the right size, but it's going to sit down in there and divide this right here, divide into two sections, so I keep smaller minnows on this side, bigger ones on this side, so I don't have to worry about fishing around. I just have them separated. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then to hold it in there, I'm going to silicone on this nailing corner guard. I'm going to cut it to size, and it's kind of just going to sit there and there. Put 2 pieces on either side, and that'll kind of make a rail system for this plexiglass. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so now I got these tracks in here. So I just used a 2-part epoxy. This is Gorilla epoxy, I believe, and it's the 5-minute stuff, so it gets stickier faster. So I got it all mixed up, let it kind of get that tack, and then I just stuck these in, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a little track system on both sides, so that sheet will just sit right in here and it'll be a nice little divider. Okay, now for the biofilter. Basically, I'm gonna use this bucket. This is an old one, but I'm using it because it's kind of see-through. If I shine light on it, I can see what's going on inside, so that's gonna help me so I don't have to be constantly taking the lid off when it's running. I can just shine a light on it and see where the water level's at, see if it's getting clogged, see what's going on. But anyways, so to have the pipes go through here, I'm basically using these threaded ends, or the PVC, the 3/4 inches, what I'm going for, what goes, the pump that pumps in. And so we have a threaded end, and then we have a threaded collar, and they thread together. So basically I'm going to drill a hole in here, and this side goes on the inside, this side goes on the outside. They're going to thread together around the bucket, and I'm going to put silicone all in there. And that's going to screw down super tight, and it's going to be permanent. So the one intake, and then the outtake's going to be larger. I'm making it larger. This is 1 1/4, so it's 1/2 inch larger. So water can flow out easier than it's flowing in, just so it never gets clogged, hopefully. So the same thing is going to happen. The collar, threaded collars, and there's actually 2 of these. So what's going to happen is the normal intake is going to be down here, sticking out, and then I'm going to have the second one up here like this as a safety overflow. If it fills up too much, it's going to flow through here and go down. Okay, so next day here, and we've made a lot of progress. So first of all, the silicone in here is looking really good. Really glad I put the masking tape on there because it's a nice uniform little area that it's in all the way around. Also, got this plexiglass sheet cut. As you can see, slides down in there. These rails are dried now, and I mean those things are not coming off, so that's perfect. This plexiglass sheet, I'm actually going to drill a bunch of holes in it, so there is some water flow through there. But for now, that's looking good. So I'll move on to the filter and what I got going. So all the one intake and the normal outflow and the emergency outflow are all done. Siliconed in there. I put a rubber washer in this one just because when these screw together, they just don't screw all the way. You can see. So I had this washer, so I just did it on that one. These ones, I just put a ton of silicone, and I think that is going to work out well. This is basically the discharge to at least what I got so far. It's going to sit in there like that, and you can see the overflow just feeds right into that. I'm going to go over what I'm going to do for filter media. So I'm going to do what a lot of people do and just use these pot scrubbies. One thing about these, go to the dollar store to buy them. They're a 4-pack. I went to Dollar Tree. They're a 4-pack for $1 plus tax. And everywhere else, Walmart and stuff, I find them, and it's about $2.30, $2.50 for a 3-pack, maybe a 4-pack. So Dollar Tree, dollar store, it's the best deal for sure. Other things I got, 10 of these pot other type of pot scrubbies for $1 as well. So you definitely want to be going to the dollar store for this. And I'm going to put those down. As you can see, the discharge is basically a pipe that goes in and then an elbow that goes down, and it's about 1 inch maybe off of the bucket. And then what else I did was take this, just a Cool Whip container, and I drilled a hole in it so it fits over this 1 1/4 inch PVC, and then I cut little slots down around the edge, about 5 of them, just little holes about that long, that high. And that's just so when water goes in, it doesn't all go straight down and then just run right along this pipe and then go straight up through it. I want it to have to be forced to at least try and go through all the filter media. So I just figured I would do that. Not sure if it's gonna work great, but we'll see. Real quick update on where I'm at. Got the lids all cut to size. So this is basically, it's not screwed together yet. This part is going to be the part that flips up. And I got the plexi sheet. Hopefully you can see that, a bunch of holes drilled in it. That's done. But anyways, this. So to attach this to this, I'm just going to take this 2x4 and I'm going to glue it and drill it into just this piece. So we'll hang over this and it will be drilled or bolted into that still. Basically, so it's a lid. I'm going to put a handle on here and it's going to be a lid. I'm going to seal it, but first I'll show you what I got going with the filter. So basically we got a spray bar in, there's some filter media. I'm going to put more in. Discharge goes out, safety connected to the discharge. That goes down, pipe out. I'm going to put an elbow and a spray bar there probably. Then I'm going to put a longer piece of PVC here. That's going to go to this pump. It's a 425 gallon per hour pump. So that should circulate because there's going to be about 30 gallons in here. So that'll circulate it pretty good amount. That should be good. Maybe we'll have to upgrade, but we'll see. So I'm going to get this wood sealed and then I'll probably be back tomorrow to kind of finish it up. Okay, another real quick update here. So lid's all done, stained. As you can see, I put a 2x4 just connected to this, and then it is screwed into the hinges that were already there. Caps are put back on, and that works pretty well, and that's why I wanted to keep that. The hinges hold the lid down and they hold the lid up, so that's pretty perfect. The filter got the rest of these scrubbies in. As you can see, I think that's eight packs, I believe, so that's 32 of them, covers it pretty much completely. And then I'm gonna put these in there really quick right now. Okay, so they're in. They're kind of just in there the best I could get them. Once water and stuff starts going there, that'll be a lot better. And then I'm gonna actually put another filter layer on top of that, a little bit finer one to catch all the gunk that will constantly get cleaned. But that is pretty much it. I'm gonna put a insulation sheet on the inside of this and inside of this small piece there, then finish, obviously get the other piece of that. This is just the spray bar for this. But just want to show you a quick update. I guess also I put the legs on this portion. This is not connected to this, but when the insulation is in there, it's going to kind of hold it in this grooved in area, and then the lid shutting also does. So that's a quick update, and I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, finally this thing is done, and honestly it's pretty awesome. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. As you can see, I mean, it just looks really, really nice. We don't have stuff everywhere. The cords, you know, kind of have a nice little area down there, but let's just go through it really quick. First of all, sealed wood top. Looks pretty good. Flips up easy. I got insulation up on the inside to keep the cold in. As you can see, there are some minnows in there, smaller ones in there. There are bigger ones down there. Now the water is pretty cloudy right now just because it's rainwater, so it's got dust and stuff in it. I just put it in, so hopefully that'll clean up soon. Let's go up to the filter. So the water gets pumped up here through a 425 gallon per hour pump. Comes up. This part is kind of temporary, but I'm gonna leave it for now and just see how it works. Basically, I have a spray bar right here that would normally just go in here and it would spray in there, and I would have some sort of filter, top filter media on top of my biofilter stuff. But right now I just have it pumped into this gallon ice cream bucket with a ton of holes drilled in the bottom, ton of 1/2-inch holes so water can easily go through. And I had all these polyfill squares from putting under the pans and coyote traps. I had a bunch of extras, and they're really, really small fibers, so they filter out sediment really well. So that's in there just to help hopefully clear up the water. Otherwise, the spray bar would be in there, and there'd be another filter in. So I'll probably eventually get more polyfill and just put a sheet down in there. But for now, I'm using what I got. No reason to go buy stuff when you have stuff I can use right there. Anyways, the discharge, you can see here's the overflow here. Not used at all right now, but you can see, hopefully you can see how this is kind of see-through, which is why I use this bucket. The water level is here, and over here you can see I marked it with a permanent marker. That's important because you never know what's going to happen. If something gets clogged down there, if the spray bar in here starts getting clogged, and you come in one day and you notice, oh, the water is up a few inches above there, there might be something you need to check. But that's good like that. Little piece of PVC bolted into the top of that above the water line for the net. So the cords for the temperature sensor and the pump are just kind of clamped down with these I guess wire clamp things, I don't know what they're called. And then it goes through there. It's in, out of the way, and then if you can see that I've rubber banded it to the pipe. There's more rubber bands down there doing the rest of it. There is no aerator in here. So the aerator pumps, your normal ones, there's not one in there, because if you have a good spray bar, that's all you need. I used to think that the bubbles pumping through the air stone up was what put the oxygen in the water, but actually it's the bubbles causing or breaking the surface tension that is bringing the oxygen into the water. So if you have a good spray bar, done a good amount of research, you shouldn't need that. So for me, I want to have as little things as possible plugged in and stuff running, so that's perfect. All I need is the pump and the freezer. The freezer is pumped or plugged into this Inkbird ITC-308. Now, I first saw these on a few other videos, and I thought this was going to be pretty expensive. It's not. It's only 35 bucks on eBay or Amazon. Either one, it's 35 bucks on both of them. This thing is awesome. You can use it for cooling, or you can use it for heating, and there's plug-in for both. Obviously, I'm only using it for cooling, so this is what the freezer is plugged into. This is the temperature sensor that was bolted down earlier that you saw. It goes right here. As you can see, I have it set to 45. the water in there is at 44 right now, so it's not even on. And what I've noticed is this thing is so well insulated that once it gets down to the right temperature, it pretty much stays there. Other things I did, I put this strip bolted on here because obviously the outlet's right there and I could plug stuff in, but with the Inkbird plugged in, with the pump plugged in, that's taking up both the outlets, and I need other stuff plugged in here, so that's just nice there. You can see this is like a nice table thing. Actually works good for doing stuff on when you're not using it. Nice little handle. Down here in the drain, I put a well nut in. If you don't know what that is, just do a Google search. You can find them at most hardware stores. That's because this particular one did not have a good drain plug, so I got that. And on the inside, there's a cap. On the bottom of the cap, I put a little bit of saran wrap around it and put that in, so it's kind of double plug, so this doesn't have full pressure of all the water in there sitting on it. But yeah, it looks pretty good. The water is actually a lot dirtier than it is now. And the thing about this spray bar is you see it's kind of just straight down the middle, but I mean, you can turn it however I want it in here. Just make sure it doesn't pop off. Probably just keep it turned back like that. Maybe you can see some of those other ones down in there. But anyways, got some more that'll go in there tomorrow after they crap out. I just got all these today, some of my minnow traps. It is October 23rd or something like that. We just had a huge storm come through, snowstorm that really shut down. I mean, it didn't shut down the fishing. Fishing, I'm sure, is pretty good, but being out there in the snow and cold kind of sucks right now. It's tough to get bait, but 3 days from now it's supposed to warm up, and it's supposed to warm up for 2 to 3 weeks, so fishing will be back on. So right now I'm just getting as much as bait as I can. Ton of minnows, trying to get this thing full and really hit the late fall fishing hard if possible, along with some trapping stuff and some hunting stuff. But hopefully I can get a lot more fishing in, and some more camping too in the real cold weather. But thanks for watching this one. I hope you guys liked it. I had fun making it, something I want to do for a long time, and it turned out pretty nice. So thanks again. If you want, like. If you want, subscribe. Otherwise, thanks for watching.